Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. Joe Potter, Vintage Underground. Today I thought I'd do a little update on the two burn cars, the Ferrari and the Maserati Mistral. We've had previous videos on these, but quick update is both of these cars are the sole survivors of a garage fire with 7 cars in it. And we are repairing them for the customer and for the insurance company. So let's get to it. Let's go have a look. All right, first up is the Maserati Mistral. Both of these cars, as I have said in previous videos, came down pretty well. We had we got all the paint stripped off them. We got them down to bare metal. The Ferrari is a steel car. The Maserati is an alloy car. We got everything stripped down. And we're actually looking pretty good. The Ferrari had a couple little rust issues in small areas we corrected, but the body's actually really nice, looking pretty good. The Maserati had some previous crash damage, light crash damage on the front, and they cut the metal out and put fiberglass in. So we cut all that off and kind of put a new nose on it in aluminum, as it should have been. But other than that, both cars are really quite healthy and really pleased. On a full restoration or a full build, we'll completely disassemble the car down to nothing. On these are paint and body recoveries from this fire and insurance. So we can only take them down so far. But we actually take them down quite a ways. And one of the things we do is we will pull the doors, the boot, the bonnet, the doors, everything comes off that we can. Anyway, the doors on the Ferrari came off easy. The doors on the Maserati did not. Somewhere along the way, somebody decided to weld them on. So they had the normal hinges and normal bolts into the A-pillar to hold them on, but they must have been failing or something, or at some point somebody welded them in. And it could look like kind of difficult to do with them on the car, but made it almost impossible to get them off. And we ended up having to very carefully cut and whatnot to get them off the car. And for a car that is so healthy, the aluminum was so good and everything was, we can't find any signs of corrosion. Of course, we get those doors off and inside the A-pillar pocket, we find corrosion. And rust, and not on the alloy, but on the steel structure behind it. It just must be a design flaw where water flows down the A-pillar, down into that pocket. There's debris in there, and it's always wet, and pretty soon it just rots. It's kind of the only place in the car that we have found, but it stopped us in our tracks, and it's because we got to deal with it. And that means we got to get the aluminum off the car on the rocker section and the front clip. So it went from stripping the cars down to alloy, making some light repairs, and turning around and coming back up with primers and up through paint, to one of having to go down quite a bit further to get the front clip off the car, and so we can make some structural repairs in the steel behind it. Let me show you what we got. Okay, so here is the Mistral. We've done the nose repair, a lot of new metal there. And we got that done before we got the doors off because we were fighting so hard to get these doors off without doing damage. Somebody welded them. All right. Let me get a flashlight, see if I can light this up a little bit here. And you can kind of get down in there and you can see the big gaping holes of rust and missing metal. And I take it all back. I mean, they welded them on the door section, not the A-pillar. All right, let's look at the other side. And they're both sides are damaged in exactly the same place, so you have to make the conclusion that it's just a flaw. And you can see right down in there, it just all goes to hell with rot. And if you look at this, rocker top as well, which is steel, and it it's got corrosion on it as well. So the aluminum starts right here along this rivet line, and inboard of that, all this is steel, and that's all rotted. But as I said, the rest of the car looks really good. Kind of a bummer. That one put a hard hold on the whole situation. Not much we can do, but go in deeper and correct all the metal. And first off, we're going to get the aluminum clip off of it and aluminum rockers off of it. And this is done in the typical coach building style, where the alloy panels are folded over a steel edge, a hard edge. And you have to unfold it. You have to anneal it, and then it's not fun. So tricky. So we'll get those off, and we'll do the start on the repairs underneath of the steel. Once we get the front clip off of it, the steel superstructure repairs will, no big deal. I mean, it's just structure. We'll get all that corrected. The biggest hassle here is getting the front clip, the alloy skins, off of it and not do any damage. Okay, over on the 330 has been down to bare metal, stripped, prepped, and now has been sealed. And that's kind of the game. Once that's done, the only thing we're trying to accomplish in that whole thing is to get that metal clean and clear, and then get it sealed back up again. We are now, if you go down into the rocker here, you can see that this rocker actually looks pretty good until right here. We did find some corrosion out on the outer rocker, and then on the first wall inner rocker section. So we can tear into that and fix it. And meanwhile, we know we've got good metal. Everything's healthy on the outside. The metal has been properly stripped and sealed, and now we can take our time and take care of any other little issues. So, and of course, this stuff's very symmetrical. So the other side, same thing. Behind the rocker in this section, just plugged up, and it rots. So that is just kind of the game here at this point. So the 330s is going exactly where we thought it would. Nothing unexpected, nothing weird. We're doing a little bit of rust repair in the rocker, but that kind of small stuff is expected. Really the big difference between this and the Maserati, where we did find obviously some rust in the A-pillars of that, is that the step to fix it is so much larger. On the Ferrari, we cut the rocker off, we make new inner panels, new rockers, and seal everything. We're down the road. The Maserati, with the alloy panels and the way that they're pinched or crimped and installed on the car, it takes a lot of effort to get them off so that we can get underneath and do the steel repair. So it's just a lot bigger step that all of a sudden we've been thrust into. Thought we were absolutely clean on both cars. Thought we were just going to do it. But once you find it, and this is kind of the thing, it's not that these cars don't have these kind of stuff when you take them apart, you're going to find things. It's whether or not you deal with them. And there's, frankly, there's a lot of places that just won't deal with it. And it's just not what we do. I mean, you gotta fix it. You gotta put metal where there was metal, and you gotta fix it correctly. So that means a big path change here. Not horrific, but certainly a little bit of a setback. But we're on it. We've got the alloy skins scheduled to come off here, I think, the week of the 19th. We'll get those off, and we'll get cracking on the structure underneath. I don't expect it to go to be migrated too far from the A-pillar on either side. I think the damage is pretty isolated to just the A-pillar section, and then back into the rocker just a little bit. We get that sorted, and then we get the skins back on it and get back on track again. So That's it for the update on the two burn cars. Still making good progress. A little bit of a setback, but we're still jamming along and doing well. So thanks for watching, and please do like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.